That did not need to go that way, but I'm happy that we won. And that's a little bit better than last time. And I decided I'm going to keep the hug it out. So Bruins friends, it is time to hug it out. Because that is a 2-1 victory over the LA Kings in overtime. Thank you all. Welcome back down into the den, everybody. This game was, it certainly was a regular Bruins and Kings matchup, which is to say it went to overtime. But really, this game was pretty middle of the road. If last game was the peaks of this of what this team can be, and the first game was representative of the valleys, then I would say that this is about where you expect to be in most games, which isn't great, but it also could have been a lot worse. But before we get to everything, like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I've been getting a little bit down on myself about the performance of these videos. I'm gonna try and put a little bit more effort into actually like trying to optimize the SEO for this. But so you might see the title be a little bit of a different format than what you're used to. In any case, this game had a promising start. By that I mean, before the game, we got news that Matt Poitras would be playing for the first time since January, which we love. Matt Poitras had an amazing game this game. Honestly, he had an amazing game, and for what it's worth, the top, all four lines had a decent showing. The top line scored both of the goals, with one and really not. It really wasn't deserved, or rather, it really shouldn't have been in a goal. It was entirely a Darcy Kemper screw up. Second line. Okay, we're a little bit down on the second line. The second line is a little bit messy, because none of them really have anything. I think it took until this game for any of them, Marchand, Coyle, or Geekie to record a point. And for the love of God, why is Geekie still on the second line? But that line has still drawn like 5 penalties in the past 3 games, which is pretty good. Third line was buzzing as usual, and fourth line legitimately is one of the best. It was one of the best lines in the entire league in expected goals percentage. I think I actually saw a stat that said something along the lines of that. Per Tom Kaladi, according to MoneyPuck.com, the Kepke, Kaslik, and Beecher line, which is our fourth, is 6th in the NHL with an expected goals percentage of 83.3 in the entire NHL. Which, for those of you who are not really up on that, which I don't blame you, expected goals percentage is kind of one of those stats that seems fake, but it's actually kind of important. This is like modern day Corsi. Expected goals is a model-based metric used to isolate the evaluation of play driving and chance creation, suppression ability from things a player can't control, such as bounces, quality of goaltender, etc. It uses a variety of statistics such as how far away you are from the goal when shooting, what angle you have, how long it's been since your last shot. It uses a multitude of variables to is to basically suggest that, like, if all of these things line up, you can usually expect to have you can usually expect to get a goal on at least one of these attempts. And so for our fourth line to be sixth in the entire league in that is bonkers. Now, let's actually get into the game. First period started, and the Bruins did not. Now, I think it's sort of important to talk about the power play because the power play has not been good. The power play has been, in fact, one could probably say terrible. The Bruins through their first three games have been awful on the power play. The Bruins have essentially been 3 for 15 on the power play to start the season, but it really should be considered 2 for 15 because one of those goals, which was today, what is it? Elias Lindholm, that the goal that he had that rebounded off of Darcy Kemper, that I'm really still surprised that Kemper did not move. That Kemper had that much time. He had enough time to read the Canterbury Tales and still make it over there before the puck got to Lindholm. Well, he had all that time and still could not get over. That was on a 4-on-4. So it was still even strength. It was just a different version of even strength. And then Pasta brought the game home with a beautiful overtime goal that could not have happened without a fantastic keep in from Matt Poitras. Poitras, I'm so happy that he's back. He showed out beautifully in this first game back. But and he was the driver for his line. But also the Bruins as a whole need a little bit more to jumpstart. They need a little bit more to actually remind them that the first period is not just for shits and giggles. Because the first period is the new second period. You know how in the past I've ranted and raved about the Bruins and it's being god awful in the second period. They decided to switch it over to the first period now, I guess. The Bruins get 2 power plays in the first period, and even still, like 15 minutes through the period, the Bruins only have 1 shot on goal. We really played this game. We really played this game like we played games 5 and 6 of played games 5 and 6 against Toronto this past season, last season. And why are we allowing them to run us out of our own building? Come on. And to comment on that, TD Garden felt dead today. There was nobody. There was barely anybody. There was barely anybody there. The "Let's Go Bruins" chants and felt really quiet. But I get it. It's a really beautiful October day. I don't blame people for going outside a little bit. But in any case, the Bruins end up down in this game, thanks to Trevor Moore having a really good wide open shot that was facilitated by, of all players, Alex Turcotte. I remember being high on Alex Turcotte. I thought that with him and Byfield a couple years ago that the Kings had one of the best prospect cores in the entire league, and that he would be a massive piece in that a massive piece of that core. But no, it's not even a thing of like the Kings having a similar philosophy to the Bruins, where where they just for some reason will not play young guys. It's sort of just that Turcotte's development completely stalled out, and it's kind of it's honestly a little bit of a surprise that actually it's not really that much of a surprise that he made the opening night roster, and has managed to keep his job since. But it feels like this should have happened either last year or two. This probably should have happened last year. Here, he ends up scoring the puck out to Trevor Moore, who's in completely open space, and Moore fires on Swayman, who can't get over because Hampus Lindholm is over committing, and as a result falls over Jeremy Swayman. It's one you want back, but it's one you want back. It's one you want back. One thing that I'm a little bit concerned about with this team, though, the physicality. This team is turning into hits a decent amount, and it doesn't really feel. It feels like we're the ones getting knocked around like ping pong balls instead of the opposing team. Now, I would be in favor of that if our offense was good enough to mask those problems with physicality. But we're playing Morgan Geekie on the second line. Come on, there's only so high this offense can rise is with Geekie as our 2RW. When realistically he should be at the very best third line right wing. And that is if all of the stars align. Everybody needs to remember the reason why Geekie played in most of last season at center is because Poitras was hurt. Geekie stepped up into a role. I'm not gonna deride him for that, but I'm also not gonna act like until we've seen him replicate it that last year was anything other than a fluke. And considering that he's now on a line with 36-year-old Brad Marchand, as much as it hurts me to say it, Marchand is not the same player as he was a couple years ago. Well, he's never going to make it to 100 points again. He's never going to make it to 100 points again. I don't think he's even going to make it to 70 again. And I would love for that to be the case. I would love for him to make it to 70. I don't think it's going to happen. And Charlie Coyle to start this season just has not been great. The second line is without a doubt the weakest line for the Bruins. And we have an old vet past his prime, a center who can't do anything, and a right winger who can't be who cannot be trusted to lace up his own skates, let alone pick up the slack of Coyle and Marchand when they're not doing well. But throughout everything, we get to overtime, and this is also with the refs being terrible. I don't know what's going on with the reffing this year. It sucks. We had the delay of game last game, and that's not a high stick on Coyle last game, and now we have this game a clear trip, someone clearly tripping Marchand and not going for it, I don't know. The reffing sucks. Thanks. But I'm also not gonna pretend like one, the Bruins didn't do this to themselves. It was if the Bruins put in the effort, really put in the effort, this shouldn't have gone to overtime in the first place. That's part one. Part two is I'm also not gonna act like LA didn't play their ass off. Like, I did not expect their LA's defense to be that stout, especially after losing Matt Roy. But lo and behold, they might have one of the best defenses in the entire league. I'm not happy to say that, but I'm going to say that. The LA Kings are going to have at the very worst a top 12 defense in the league. They're great. They are great if this game taught us anything. But we end up with but I will also give the Bruins defense their credit. They shut down the top players on the Kings pretty well. Well, it was only Trevor Moore that scored. I only heard Byfield's name came up like a couple of times. I only heard Kempe's name. I only heard Kopitar's name once, and I didn't even hear Kempe. So who knows? The Bruins defense might also be really good. I just need them to actually put it together a couple times, a little bit more. But we get to overtime, and the Bruins are absolutely running the show. They are just running the Kings out of the building with this. And Poitras does a turnaround, gets it to Pasta. Pasta dumps it off to Lohrei. Lohrei forechecks it up to Pasternak again, and that's game, set, and match. It was a beautiful play, and honestly, one that I'm a little bit surprised didn't get flowed. I'm not saying that the Bruins put the puck in any sort of dangerous situations for it. I'm just saying that as a testament to how good LA's defense is. Now, next game is Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, and it's against Florida. We're hosting them. I don't know when's the next time we play Florida afterwards, but my God, I am tired of seeing these cats. I'm tired of seeing them. I'll see you guys then. Take care.